All right, welcome to Mel Scott and to Kara Raymond. Kara, I don't see you anymore. There you are. Okay, great. Now, Kara's already been to one of our EAC meetings, but before we begin, I just want to welcome both of you, Mel for the first time, Kara for the second time. So let us begin. I don't have my cardinal, so I'm going to use this red ball. Okay, let us begin our meeting. So, shall we begin by maybe instead of minutes approval, just saying, Andrea, oh my gosh, we're going to miss you so much. Did everybody get in?
What? No, what?
Okay, Andrea, maybe before we get started, so we get this off the board right away, because we're all going to miss you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I accepted it.
Matt Oriente, right?
I see Matt's on here.
Hi, yeah.
Hi, Matt. Hi, welcome.
Hello.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay.
It's good to be here.
Yeah. We're just going to have one moment here to say how I want Andrea to make sure everybody knows what's going on.
Oh, okay. So if those of you who don't know me, I'm Andrea Sustin. I'm the Special Projects Coordinator for Doylestown Township. I've also been the liaison with the EAC since the start. We've done a lot of projects together, created, informational pamphlets, brochures, hosted a lot of successful events, also created educational materials for the park. And I've enjoyed working with every single one of you professionally, and also, have a place for you guys personally as well. So an opportunity came up at Plumstead Township, and I wasn't seeking anything out. It was an opportunity that came up, and I applied for a position and was offered the job in less than 24 hours. So I did take the job. It's a career move for me, and a step up monetarily as well. So even though I'm going to miss you guys like crazy, I guess I'm just, taking the next step in my career.
Of course, that's wonderful.
Wonderful. That's really good. Congratulations.
Thank you. So my plan is, I know that, we have projects that are in the works and planned projects. So I'm hoping to work with you guys in the next 3 weeks to finalize anything that we can, while I'm here, and also set up, like a list of the things that you guys, wanted to do, and maybe how to help achieve those goals for the next person, after. So anything that I can do to help the transition, I'm willing to do.
Okay, thanks, Andrea. Do you know if they're going to replace you or not?
I would imagine that is the goal. Yes.
Okay. I just not that you're replaceable.
Mm-hmm.
We need the help. That's why I ask. Because we have Kara, you have been on before. I hope everybody remembers Kara. She lives on Wiltshire. Yep. And is at her second meeting. Mel Scott, would you just tell us who you are a little bit, and then Matt will go to you, and then we'll begin.
Sure, yeah. So I actually did listen on YouTube to the last meeting. Mainly what I'm very, very interested in is non-toxic communities. I live in Westwick, which is very saturated and has been for many, many years with pesticides. And I am ready to stop showing my belly. I'm ready to speak up about it and see what resources are. So that's why I'm here. I'm hoping maybe there's something here that I can do for you and you can do for me.
Mel, I think we've decided that you'll probably make some kind of presentation at our November meeting.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll expect that. Okay. Good.
Okay. Great.
Tonight you'll observe and.
Yeah, and just so people know, I am blind, and so muting things and chatting and all this kind of stuff is kind of a hassle. So just kind of bear with me if you would.
Sure.
Sure.
We're glad you can hear us.
Yes, I can.
Yeah. Okay, thanks, Mel. And Matt, please introduce yourself a little bit.
Yeah, hello. So I just want to say, thank you for having me here today. So I'm here today. So I'm a college student at the University of New Hampshire. I'm studying information systems business analytics with a dual major in sustainability science. So for one of my classes, which is sustainability perspectives and methods, I have to attend a public meeting because some current topics we're learning about now regard collaboration, stakeholder analysis, and community engagement. And so this is one of the assignments related to that. So I'll be here basically just to observe and take in everything on the processes that occur in a public meeting and related to sustainability. So I thought my local environmental advisory committee would be something great to just participate in, learn how you guys fully operate and what happens here. And I'm happy to be here. So thank you again.
Well, you're welcome. We're glad to have you. And Matt, didn't you work at the Native Plant Demonstration Garden?
I volunteered once or twice. So I am from Doylestown. I went to Central Bucks West in high school. I graduated in 2019. So yeah, I was active in that. The Audubon Birdtown Committee of Doylestown, I was active while I was there as well. So I know, Jim Baldessari here. I know you, Janine. So yeah, so I do have some ties to being active already within, the Doylestown Borough and Township. But yeah, obviously now I'm in New Hampshire. So it's hard for me to do now, but I'm just here to observe.
Good. Well,
Good.
I hope that you observe our beautiful committee in action with awe, because we are awesome. We are awesome. All right, minutes approval, September 8th meeting. I looked them over. I didn't see anything that needed correction. Thank you, Kurt, for doing them. Does anybody have any revisions or corrections for the September 8th minutes?
No.
Okay, motion to accept them
I make a motion to accept the September 8 meeting minutes.
and a second.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Budget review. I guess you probably have it in front of you the way I do. Any comments or questions about the EAC budget? We have not spent very much money this year because we've been handicapped by COVID, as everybody else has been.
We seem to be making money. We seem to have more money than we started with.
No, I'm not sure this reflects all our expenses though.
Yeah. But it looks like we have $117 more than we started with. So,
Yeah. If only our home budget would go that way.
yeah, well,
So I don't know how that happened, but
well, and did we spend any money on the trees for Pools Corner or no?
We did not. That money did not come
No.
out of EAC. It came out of our
Okay.
tree
Property.
budget.
Right. We did not.
And we got the credit from Staples, but have we recorded the charge yet?
No, I think
So
that's what's missing.
yeah, so we had agreed to pay half for these brochures that they, said. So yes, that's in the works. Would you guys, talking about the budget, I know it was a lengthy process before, hopefully it wouldn't be. Do you guys want to order more brochures since I'm going to be leaving?
Yes.
Now, I'm definitely going to make sure that you guys have the PDF.
okay, you're the one with the contact.
Well, yeah, so do you want me to order more?
Yes.
Well, can I ask how many we have in stock, just out of curiosity?
So we had ordered 1,000 over the past, couple months. We've sold a couple. We still have a large amount, but I was just wondering, to make sure that you are covered in my absence. But if you don't think it's necessary, it's whatever. But
Yeah, I don't feel strongly, and we have the money in the budget. On the other hand, if we have 1,000 of them, that we're going to probably use very few over the winter, to be honest. My suggestion would be that we just wait until the spring and see if they go.
Andrea, where will that PDF be? Will it be on the computer that your successor will use, or
I can email you the PDF.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's have.
Yeah, I'll email it to you, and it would also be on the computer.
Okay.
So I could email it to you, and if you could send it to Staples, so it's something that
Would
can
you
be.
send it to me and to Anne?
Sure.
Okay, so that we have two people who have it, just in case. That'd be great. Any further discussion about the budget?
Janine, real quick, you taking notes tonight? Is Jim taking notes?
Yeah, I'm taking notes.
Oh, thanks, Jim. I never asked, did I? Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, Jim. Okay, let's just put the budget aside then and get on to new business, which there really wasn't any, except that we were going to have some guests tonight. I don't think there's any other new business. Does anybody have something to bring up before we go on to our typical arrangement?
I do, Janine. I don't know that we've talked about it as a full committee, the idea about getting new shirts.
Oh, thank you. I don't know if we have either.
I think you and I and Andrea have talked about it, but I think that's it. I don't think we actually talked to everybody.
So you did find some nice shirts at Land's End, I think, didn't you?
Yeah, Land's End has like a business. It's like business.com, business.landsend.com. And they sell polo shirts, t-shirts, sweatshirts that a company logo can be put on. And we can create our own logo to go on that. They'll put whatever we want on there. And I thought that might be better. The shirts that, when we got the shirts initially, I got them from a guy that works with Karen Sweeney. And we only needed 7 shirts, and then our liaison then was Jen Herring, and she wanted a shirt, and he was like, I'm not doing one shirt at a time, just that's not going to work. So we're not turning back to him for the shirts, but we do have a new member with Kurt, and we've had the shirts for 3 years. So it seems like maybe doing a fresh batch of shirts might be a good idea. So Janine and I and Andrea had talked about it a little bit, and I just thought the Land's End is easy. Most people are familiar with that brand. You know what size you usually take, that kind of stuff. And they do have the dark green like we've had. We would have to create our own logo though. And Andrea has worked on that a little bit.
Is there a reason not to use somebody who's local that does shirts? Because there are people in Doylestown that do print shirts.
I did try to work with the one right in town, right on that 5 Point area. I can't think of the name right now. And they were just not, I don't know what the problem was, but it was months before they could even give me a size chart. And by then I already had the shirts from this other guy. I'm certainly, I don't really want to be the shirt person forever and ever, but and that was another reason. I think the problem is they want to do big orders. What he wanted to do was get the golf outing order, which is like 150 shirts. That's where they make some money. To do 6 or 7 shirts is just like, it's busy work for them more than they're not really making any money on it. But Land's End, they're selling gazillion shirts every day, so they're in volume. I just pulled them because I thought it was easy.
And they'll do small orders, like orders of 10 or less.
Yeah, they'll do any number you want.
I'm fine with that, but should we reuse the logo we had before?
Well, that was proprietary to the former creator. We can use something similar.
Who was the creator? I don't remember that.
It's called J&S Productions.
Oh, so
out of the guy's house.
Oh, so Andrea didn't do it. Okay.
Well, I did present you guys with a couple options, but I unfortunately don't have them on me, so I'm not able to show them.
Okay. Maybe if you could forward those to us, if you still have them on your computer somewhere, we can.
I do.
Take this up again at the next meeting. Maybe we can look at those.
Well, I won't be here at the next meeting.
No, but if you just send those to me, I'll be sure to share them at the next meeting.
Okay.
The
Okay,
logos.
great. We'll put that on the agenda.
Yeah, I think it's a nice idea. Sure, why not?
We probably won't
Nice
be
show
using
of-
it anyway till spring,
Yeah.
right?
Probably, right.
Yeah, we'll put it on the November agenda, okay? Thank you, Andrea. Thank you for sending those ideas for the logo. That's great.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
Okay,
I
and
do.
thanks for getting that back, because we do like to wear these. We like to wear our matching EACs, This was something we decided 3 years ago, and it's just one of these things that identifies us. When we have a group event, we stand out a little bit. And so that's, I think, something to pursue. I think last time we bought our own, right? They were fairly cheap.
No, the committee paid for them.
Oh, did we? Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, we took it.
But they were, I think they were $20 or 22 or something like that.
Yeah, they're-
And the Land's End are 25. I mean, it's not a big money thing.
Right. Okay. All right.
I'm sorry, Janine, can I, before we move on, speaking of it, since Kurt is new on the committee, Andrew, do you have a copy of the EAC handbook or an electronic version of it and a badge, or at least can somebody make up a badge for Kurt?
Yes, I can have a copy of the handbook and a badge. Kurt, do you want me to mail it to you, or would you want to stop by the township building this week and pick it up?
I can certainly stop by. That's no problem.
Okay.
Good. Thank you, Jim. Yep. Good. Is there any other new business that I missed? Okay, moving on to subcommittee reports. We had an EAC summit on October 7th, and I think there were 21 attendees. Jim, would you please give us a summary, a report? And Heidi and Andrea have been working on the video, so let's hear about all of that.
Okay, so yes, we had a summit via Zoom, which I think went actually quite well. It took a little while for all of us to get used to it, but I think we got into a flow after a few minutes. Janine, I think you did a great job moderating.
Thank you.
And Heidi, you too. Heidi, you're a natural, I think, when it comes to keeping the conversation going. We covered several topics. We talked about EAC activities in the time of COVID. Difficulties and opportunities. I think people tended to focus a little bit on the difficulties, but I wish we could have maybe fleshed out a few more opportunities, but at least maybe we got some people starting to think. We talked about Birdtown. We talked about single-use plastic a little bit. We talked about Ready for 100. I don't remember all the topics offhand. And then we talked towards the end. Heidi, you moderated a session on reports from each individual EAC.
Right.
And those, I think people really like those. People were really happy to talk about what was going on in their EACs. I think maybe a lesson for next year is maybe to devote more time to that, because a lot of ideas came out of that particular session. So
Yeah.
in general, I think that went very well.
Jim, I just want to jump in with that about the reports. I think it would be really good to suggest the folks to offer some slides, like, send us 1 to 3 slides that we can culminate together and create a program where people can jump in as their slides come up. It just so they have a visual to talk from. And even present reports ahead of time that we can also, include in the summary at the end. Just something.
Great
to think
idea.
about for next year.
Good idea.
Okay, we need to do that next year. Did anybody hear any follow-up from any other EACs or other members?
I did.
I did too.
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
got some email. I think it was Jan Filios from Newtown.
Mhm.
She had emailed me and said that she, was pleased with the summit and was very happy to have been involved. And then she also wanted to purchase native plant brochures for Newtown. So I'm arranging with her to come purchase them.
How many is she buying?
20.
Excellent. All right, that's nice.
So
Yeah.
more money for the EAC.
Coming in, going out this year. I heard from Andrea Strout from Buckingham. Her words were, "That was an awesome summit. I feel jazzed."
Oh, that's nice.
I like
Very
that
good.
word.
Good.
I also have been in touch with Eric Allen from Soulbury, and he and I are going to have a phone conference on Thursday night about deer. The idea came up that perhaps we can have a deer summit. And so Eric and I are going to kick around some ideas on Thursday night, and I'll report on that in November. So anybody else have follow-up from the EAC summit?
We did have one person who reached out to me to join the Ready for 100 calls.
Okay,
So that's one more township, I think, involved.
very good.
Good. Perfect. It was a success. I mean, as much of a success as we could make it, considering that It was a pretty large Zoom meeting, and some people weren't able to connect perfectly, but I thought it went very well. Lots came out. So what about Ready for 100? Kurt, moving along here. Can you give us a little info? What's going on?
Well, we didn't have a Ready for 100 meeting in the interim because it was the night of our EAC summit.
Oh, okay.
But we did hear from West Rock Hill again. Jim Miller sent us a photograph of their new charging station that they put up in James Memorial Park. So it'll be interesting, very interesting to see what kind of demand there is for that charging station. I mean, the idea, and I think this is exactly right, is you put a charging station where somebody's going to show up and have some dwell time.
Yeah.
And so, you know, a park is one of those kinds of locations where somebody's going to show up, they're going to walk around, they're going to do something in the park. And during that interregnum, their car is going to charge up. So that's commercially what is happening with charging stations. And it makes sense that they've done that with their EV point as well. So we'll be anxious to see how that progresses. Obviously they haven't had it up and running long enough yet to know what the daily usage is or all of that. They did say they did not put it up for commercial reasons. They're not trying to make money on it. Although, I mean, they'll be charging for it, but that it's not intended to be a profit center. It's really more about, this is part of the long-term vision of how West Rock Hill will operate. So I think that's exactly right. I mean, I think that's the right way to think about it.
Kurt, do you think that West Rock Hill would send a representative to the next Ready for 100 monthly meeting?
You know, I think Jim Miller was interested in what we were doing, but he'd also raced ahead of us. So
Yeah.
we'll have to see whether there's enough going on with Ready for 100 that's still of interest to them, because they're off to the races and they're moving smartly along to being, you know, at least from the township perspective, 100% green.
My thought was that perhaps they could share their experience with the group.
Sure. And we would be delighted if they continue to participate, because we'd love to learn from them.
Maybe someone can extend that invitation.
Oh, he's on the distribution list. So
Yeah,
he knows about the
he's
meetings.
been
Yes.
invited. I just don't know whether he's going to continue to participate.
Right.
But he's definitely enthusiastic about what they're doing, and you know, we're going to try and capture information about them so that we can use it as a success story.
Yeah, because success breeds success.
Yeah.
And to hear his enthusiasm and what they're doing in West Rock Hill could inspire others, especially new people who show up at the Ready for 100 meeting.
Absolutely, and frankly, they did it for all the right reasons. They did the analysis, and it made perfect sense. So, you know, and I think that many townships and other government entities are kind of thinking about it the wrong way. They're thinking, well, we kind of have to do this because people want us to do it. That's just wrong. This is a huge opportunity for people, and they're just not focused on it yet. But it's a huge opportunity. So if we can get that across, we can get people over the hump of thinking about, well, now this is something more I have to give attention to, and more like, here's a big opportunity. I want this.
We probably need to pass that idea along to our board. I know, Jim, you have already presented to the board, you know, but maybe we need to do it again.
Well, I think that, I feel like they're on board. I think to me, the key here is to take some actions, right? And so we have had a first, thanks to Dan, we had our first interaction with the township staff and got some information on electricity usage. So we just need to keep, I think, ramp up activity. And I think that I do feel like they're on board. You know, I don't attend the Board of Supervisors meetings, but if they want an update, we can do that.
I'm just saying, you know, Kurt's point is a good one, that it's time for some action.
Yeah. Well, so I was going to ask Kurt, I don't know, have we had an opportunity to start to talk to the township about the details of electricity usage? Have we?
I have not, but I guess that's a better question for Dan. you know, I had responded back. I don't know if you saw my email, but I responded back that I'd be delighted to help with that in any way that I possibly can.
Right. So Dan, do you know if the next step I think would be for us to really actually get our hands on electricity bills, and you know, Kurt's offered to really do a deep dive on that. So I know there's a lot of different individual bills, so there's a lot of papers to sift through, but if we could start to think about how we would access those, that would be a good next step.
Yeah, that was the main problem. I don't know if everyone knows what we're talking about, but in that meeting, I spoke with Ken Wallace and the rest of the staff, and part of the problem with getting an accurate energy picture for the township is we're talking about like 60 to 80 different bills that have to be pulled because of the way PECO sets things up. Like the lights in the township are on a different, the lights in Central Park are on a different bill than the lights inside the building, and the lights in Sowerman Park, and all this stuff. So they're willing to do that for us. They just want to know, do we want, how much of it do we want, essentially?
Yeah. And I think the short answer, Dan, is we'd love it all. And I'd rather be the arms and legs for that if they don't want, you know, because staff time, again, is precious at the township. This is a small enterprise. And so, you know, if you just need somebody to come in and make copies, or if you just need someone to access the computer and pull the stuff, I'd be happy to do that. So, you know, I want to alleviate the burden on your staff folks as much as possible. Now, maybe that isn't possible, but, you know, I stand ready to help.
Thanks, Kurt.
Thank you, Kurt. Dan, can we make something happen here?
Yeah, I'm making a note to ask about that. I will check to see how they are about like Kurt going through that and all that. The other part of the problem is that these are all paper bills, so like copies have to be made and all that fun stuff. So it's just, I just have to figure out how much work's needed. Well, get an idea from Stephanie how much work is needed and how much we're allowed to, how much the committee's allowed to do versus how much like the staff needs to handle bills and stuff, kind of thing.
Right. But there's probably nobody on staff that wants to spend their time at the copier. And so I'm a guy who will. So
That's awesome.
And I think the analysis needs to be done by someone like you, Kurt. I mean, you're going to be looking at it, and the purpose of making the copies is to start drawing some conclusions.
right. I'm going to put it all ultimately I'm going to put it all into a spreadsheet, but the first step is you got to corral all the pieces of paper or electronic access or whatever, however we can get at it. And then I'll put it all into a spreadsheet. We'll reduce it down, and we'll learn something, you know. We don't know yet what we'll learn, but we'll learn stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Good idea.
So let's someone take that on then. And Andrea, is Dan, who is it that we should contact? Stephanie? Ken?
I'll contact Stephanie about it tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah.
And would you follow up with Kurt, please?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. We want to move things along here. That's great. All right, moving along then. Invasive plant of the month. Heidi, that is yours. You've been creating these wonderful monthly pages for our website.
Well, I've been providing the information. I just sit down, I get all the information together, and then I've been sending it to Andrea, who makes it so beautiful. So I'm on behind with all the information, but Andrea's the one who makes it beautiful and presentable to the our community. So Andrea, I don't know what I'm gonna do without you. Maybe you and I can get together and talk about how you make it so beautiful. You know, what is your process, and so that we can continue doing this without you being there.
I will share my secrets with you, Heidi.
Wonderful. Andrea, do you have a template or templates or something that we could use, that Heidi could use?
I do. Yeah, I use a free online graphic creator that I've been using. So I will share that with Heidi.
Great.
And you have a creative eye, so I think you'll be just fine with it.
Thank you. I think I'll be able to manage it. I appreciate you helping me with it. This past month we just did, I don't know if you've put it up yet, but we're doing Burning Bush.
I didn't, but I'm going to do that tomorrow.
Okay, so Burning Bush is ready to go. And then we're going to be putting Barberry up for November, and then December will be English Ivy.
And the Barberry's already done, so that's good.
It is good. So it'll give me time to get, acclimated to the new process.
What was December, Heidi?
English Ivy.
Oh, okay.
Is that good? Do you like English Ivy?
Well, we actually hate English Ivy. We like the subject, however.
Better, that's
Really?
pretty
I like Ivy.
I do, I have to admit, I do.
They're
really
native
like English
Ivy.
I
It's
do.
Do you want me to do a different one? Can you prove?
No.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's what's happening with invasive plant of the month, and I think it's a really good process. I think it's a really good bit of information. I've been hearing people actually talk about it, that they've seen it online, and hearing people share the information that they've found actually on it. So I think it's a really good resource for our community.
Heidi, I just wanted to offer that I'm fairly adept at Photoshop, which is also a graphic program. So if you need some help in the early days, you're welcome to call me and send me some files, and I can work them through Photoshop and get them back to you.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you so much, Kara. I appreciate it. I'll let you know.
Okay.
Excellent.
Thanks so much.
So, all right. So we have these pages, this invasive plant of the month showing on the website. I wonder if we can print one out and put it in the display case down by the Environmental Education Center. We print one copy and just put it in that display case. I mean, my article about mulching trees has been there now for 2 months. It needs to go. It's old news. So if we could do that monthly, like right now, we could put up the burning bush one. It's another nice way of passing the word along.
Do you need a key? Is that display case locked?
Yes.
It is, but
Who has the key to get
only
into it?
staff.
I have the key. I have the key, but maybe we can arrange for somebody else to have the key so that we can do a month, change it monthly or something.
Yeah, well,
Would it be okay to have Janine have a second key? I mean, could we have more than one key?
Probably. I'll talk to Chris Mason about it.
He's the guy to ask, and he and I had this conversation.
Oh.
And I think, yeah, we already had this conversation, and he was under the impression that only staff could have those keys. But I would be very willing to have an EAC display case key. Don't worry, I won't do anything untoward with it.
Well, it's a bulletin board, basically. I mean, I don't think we can go too crazy. So
really, yeah.
Right. There's not even that much space. But
right.
It seems to me that if we have an invasive plant workshop, an invasive plant website, or a page on the website, we should have the same thing hanging down there.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
I think that makes sense. If you're going to be there on the last Saturday of the month, that's a good time to kind of revamp it every month.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if you had a key, you could do it.
Yep. I'd be happy to do it. It looks really nice now, but I think it's, I love, Andrea, that the invasive plant workshop on October 24th.
Oh yeah, the upcoming events.
Join it. It says events and it's big. People can see it. Who knows if anybody will show up, but at least it's advertised there by people who walk by and who love the park and who love the garden area.
I have a quick question, if I may. On Facebook, there's a Bucks County Gardeners site that do you guys, I haven't noticed, do you ever post those kinds of things on that kind of Facebook page? Because there's a lot of people that follow that page that are local. And
that's a separate entity. That's a separate group, Farm and Garden.
No, it's a Facebook page that people can join. No, I know it's separate. I'm asking, do you ever post your events on that page so that people who are interested in those kinds of things are on that page? I'm just wondering if it would get more people's attention, some other people's attention.
Yeah.
Both the invasive as well as any, kind of plant sale, because people are always asking information about that on that page. And the guy who runs it is really mindful about what gets posted there and, keeping other stuff off of it, but something like that, I think he would be open to.
Yeah.
Carol, I definitely share. Sorry.
Go
ahead, Jim.
What was the Facebook page? Just so I can write it down.
Let me look on my Facebook page and I can tell you exactly.
Okay.
Because
I've shared some of our events to different Facebook groups before, so I have done that before. But that's a good reminder.
But are we posting the monthly work days, for example, or the plant sales? We should make that a regular part of our monthly outreach.
Yeah.
Something-
But you guys have to also remember that, you know, the special projects coordinator is in charge of social media, but it's not the only job of the special projects coordinator. So some things, you know, do slip through the cracks.
No,
But it,
it's
I guess,
yeah.
just has to be a reminder that,
Sure,
you know,
of
to
course.
push those things.
Can I ask a question? Are we as EAC members allowed to post things on their Facebook pages? Or do you,
No. Oh, what was that? I'm sorry.
as EAC members, are we allowed to post on other, can we take those posts and put it onto another Facebook group?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, Karen posts on her personal Facebook all the time, sharing the township's summer concert series and events. So if you guys shared, you know, the Doylestown Township, the event or something, you could totally do that. Yeah.
But we'd have to be members of that group, though.
You do.
I'm
Yeah.
a member of Central Bucks
Yeah.
Gardeners. I think that's what it's called
Oh, is it?
on Facebook. Isn't that what it is, Kara? Central Bucks Gardeners?
Well, the Central Bucks Gardeners, I think that's it. I'm trying to pull it. That's one of them. I think there's another one that I'm trying to find, but Central Bucks Gardeners is one of them.
Mhm.
And I'm just trying to find the other one for you.
The other one that I see a lot is Penn State Master Gardeners, but that's big.
That's all over the state.
all over the
This
state.
one, I think it is Central Bucks Gardeners. I thought it was Bucks something Gardeners. So I'm looking to see if I might belong to two and I just get the names confused. But Central Bucks Gardeners is definitely one of them.
So the Special Projects Coordinator is a person who has been assisting with social media over and over again. I would love to see this, see our information on the Central Bucks Gardeners group in the group, but I'm not quite sure how to do it.
I can do it.
It's easy. If you're a member, it's easy to put. Well, Heidi, it sounds like you already know how. So
To do it. Yeah, you have a post and then you label them as a group that you wanted to also be included in. So I can do it. You want me? I can handle it. So I'll do this.
Yeah, would you just get it posted on there? That's, yeah, great. I think the leader of the group, the
So-
moderator, is Tom Marchione.
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's Tom's group.
Wait,
That's right.
Tanya, Heidi, so are you saying that you would share the township's post, or would you want the township to post the same post that they're posting on their Facebook to this gardening Facebook?
So I would take the post that you create on the Doylestown Township site and post it share it onto the Central Bucks Gardener site.
That the township should do that?
Right.
Yeah, okay.
The
So
township or Heidi should do it.
If Heidi's already a member, it might be just as easy if she's willing to.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think, Andrea, about that?
I mean, I guess it doesn't hurt to, like, more the merrier, you know, like even if you were to share the same post, you know, it's not that big of a deal, but I guess this is a good format so that, you know, I can say when the EAC has events and you post it on Facebook, make sure to share it here, 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 and here.
That would be good. And if it's posted twice, it's okay. Right? Once by EAC, once by Heidi Shiver. It's okay. We have to move on. I don't want to spend too much time on that. Is there any anything else on invasive plant of the month, which is such a nice innovation? Okay, let's move on to tree signs. Ann.
Tanya and Janine and Andrea and I have been meeting on tree signs for a while now. And I think we've completed the one on trees for ecosystems. We are meeting on Friday for a collective thought on what to do for the trees for humans. We're scoping through some pictures that we're going to tie to text, and hopefully we'll I don't think we're going to finish it before Andrea leaves, but we can at least make progress. So they're in the works.
I think the one is just about ready.
I think that one's ready. As long as the text was changed, I think we're there. And so it would be the second one that we're still working on.
For the sake of our guests, these are the educational signs that are in Central Park. We have made lots of them. I have lost count. We're in the process.
I don't know. We're pretty far up there. I think it might be 8 and 9.
a good group. So it looks now like that we're going to be posting 2 new signs about trees.
Right.
And the one is trees for the ecosystem, right?
Right, how trees function in an ecosystem, right?
The other is trees for humans.
Right.
Mhm.
So they're going to be great, as all our signs are. Thank you, Anne.
I have a question about the trees. Did you guys want me to work with Fossil and finalizing that other tree? I mean, not the other tree, the other sign, or do you want to wait until you can get them both at the same time?
I would go ahead and do the one that's completed.
I agree.
What do you think, Janine?
I think that's a great idea. I think it's ready to rock and roll. Andrea's done it before. I think we can get it done and maybe install it early next year.
And we're gonna order, I have to speak with Fossil. I actually had 2 things, suggestions. We're gonna order the base through Fossil this time because member Chris Mason had suggested that instead of them making one, they're gonna order one through Fossil. Do you recall him saying that?
The stakes, I'm having trouble hearing.
Yeah, somebody has background TV or music on or something.
Maybe my kids.
A base. You know how typically Butch used to create the base and then Chris started creating it. He suggested that the next time we get a sign is to order one with Fossil that it would come with. So if that's okay with you, we would work to order the base with Fossil.
We'll just have to get the price. But we do have money in the budget for this sign. And I would be okay with the rest of, I think maybe this is a vote though, just to add on, because this is going to add some cost to our tree sign. I don't know, do you have any idea, ballpark figure on that?
Of the sign usually runs $400 to $500. The base could be I don't know, 200, 300.
I think we have to approve that expenditure. Would someone move that we include in the cost of the tree sign, the cost of the base?
Move that in the cost of the tree sign, we include the cost of the base.
Second?
I'll second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Excellent.
I had one more question about the tree sign. I'm sorry. So I also know that in that area where we previously had 2 signs, because of the canopy of the trees, the signs got really dirty and maybe didn't last as long as they usually do. So I was wondering if Fossil had some kind of sealant on, top of it, or some kind of cover, plastic cover that would have more, the sign would have more longevity. So I don't know if they offer anything like that, or if that's something we could, if it's necessary. What do you think about some kind of clear top for it because of the area that it's in to get it to last longer?
What kind of material are they printed on?
I forget.
Are they wood? I'm sorry.
No, it's not.
No,
wood.
it's a composite. It's a
Yeah.
plastic, basically.
Plastic, yeah.
When the Native Plant Brigade works at the garden, the people who have hip replacements or other reasons for not working in the actual garden, sometimes I get somebody to wash those signs.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So
that needs to be done.
we do
I
take
like that.
We take that on as part of the Native Plant and Garden Brigade. And there are 2 women in particular who love to do it. They just walk around with some Windex and some paper towels and they wash those signs and they look fabulous. They don't all.
Yeah, they look fabulous for like 3 days and then it's back to it.
So we probably should investigate a way to keep them cleaner.
Well, I'm wondering, do we need to put them where they were? I mean, there's no signage, there's no base or anything left from the original
True.
signs.
Yeah,
Can we
so
just
not
move them
necessarily.
to a more open area?
Yeah. I thought that you were trying to put the 2 in the same spot, but if that's not the case, then the issue isn't relevant.
I don't think it has to be in the same spot. It just needs to be in the park.
Okay. All right.
What do you think, Janine?
Yeah, I think we should think about where they might go. And if they don't go down there by the bridge, then they need to go in another location that makes sense.
Right.
We could take walks, everybody who takes walks in that park. Maybe next time you walk, think about the placement of 2 tree signs and consider where should they go? Where would they be most useful?
Right.
Where would they get
Okay.
attention? So let's put off the placement for now, and we'll get some feedback from all of us in November.
Yeah, I do think though, I didn't want to squash the idea that if there's a cover or something that Fossil offers, that we should certainly find out about that too.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
not trying to squish that. I'm just saying
Yeah, I
we're
understand.
not bound to put them exactly where they were.
No, they don't have.
Okay, I'll look into it.
Okay, thanks. Excellent. Moving along. Native plant demonstration garden plant sale. That's you, Heidi.
Yeah, so just put something very quickly together within a month. Bucks Audubon helped me, and also Audubon PA. And within a month.
Heidi, can you speak up a little bit?
Oh, sure. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, sorry. So just very quickly, I put a demonstration garden display and sale together. Bucks Audubon and Gino's Nursery were our co-sponsors, and I had a material from, I guess it was Newtown EAC as well as Valley Forge. They had some materials that Valerie Peckman from Audubon PA had actually bought and painted. So we used those materials. I used those materials to put a display garden together, as well as a sale together. And what the purpose was is really an opportunity for people to learn about native plants during COVID without anyone standing there, and having an opportunity to have access to our new beautiful brochure. So I made a lot of signage for each plant. I put a nice little display together. It was very simple, very small, but I put it down by Kids Castle to reach a broader audience, a different audience than we normally do. Parents and children and so on. So apparently a lot of people were taking pictures and grabbing brochures, and a number of people then went up to the native plant garden to see what native plants look like in real life in a beautiful garden, as well as buy some plants. People were very excited. We sold more than half the plants, even though it was raining. I had a lot of wonderful chats with people, and there was just a lot of excitement. So I think it's a really good first step, and I really want to do this again next year. I think fall is a great time to do it. It's a great time to plant. And I think it was a great success. It was a lot of fun. I hope in the future I can have more help. And I know it was very quick. I sprung it on everybody, and but next year I'd like to do a little bit more pre-planning so that we can have everyone involved that want to be involved.
Heidi, I have a question about the materials, the banners, the signs. Are they ours now?
No, they're not. They're owned by Audubon PA. They had a special grant last year from National Audubon that was like $6,000. So they actually produced these 2 banners that they're open to anyone to use. So
and where are they going to be housed?
Well, I was really trying to get Bucks Audubon to take the lead on this, but Stacy didn't really bite. So they're going to be wherever. So I drove all the way to Newtown Square to get the banners and the containers. And the other sign was produced by Bucks Audubon, and I asked them to make changes for us. And I took those changes and actually had a special sign just made for us, which Andrea has now. So that will always be in our possession. But the banners and the boxes are going to be shared amongst all the different EACs in the whole broader area of Bucks County, Montgomery County, Chester County. So I will continue to put pressure on Bucks Audubon to take the lead and house all this so it'll be easier to access it. But next year, I'll keep keep an eye on where things are. Valerie Peckman would be the person to contact. I reached out to her, and she's the one who directed me of where to find the different things.
Okay, because it would be nice to make this, I'm going to suggest to the group that we make it an annual event.
Definitely.
It would be a very nice add-on to what we already do in the way of outreach about native plants. If we have a sale every September, or at some point in the future when we feel ambitious, we could have a sale in May and another sale in September. Spring, fall, makes sense to me. Yes, it would require some work. And we would have to be able to reuse some of these materials. That's why I asked about the materials.
I think the materials would be easily accessible. I would just have to find where they are, who has them, and go collect them. And I think it's really important to have a pop-up garden as well. I mean, I think it was really great to have a Kids Castle, but maybe we can do something bigger like Newtown did, where we would, do something with the county theater and have an environmental film shown at the same time or something like that. You know, it would be wonderful to have a broader event, but we can talk about it next year as COVID, you know, goes away. But right now,
let's put it on the March agenda.
okay.
Okay, we'll pick it up again then and see if we have interest, see how the world is. And maybe we could stage one in May.
Sure.
Because you know what's happening? Because of COVID and also because of perhaps a few other things, you know, we had a speaker series that we did for several years, and we really haven't been able to do it for this reason or that reason. We could do this native plant sale and pop-up garden instead of a speaker series. It is, you know, it is spreading the word about an important issue. It is a narrow issue, however. It's not a larger issue. So it's just something to think about. But let's put that on the agenda. Possible, in March, possible native plant pop-up garden and sale. Does that make sense to everybody? Does anybody have something more to add to that?
I just have a question about how was the money handled? Who did that?
I paid for everything. I mean, I just paid for the sign. Everything else I worked out with Gino's Nursery. I've worked with Nick many years.
Yeah.
So basically he just gave me his iPad and I just, you know, the plants were bought directly through Gino's Nursery. I had his iPad and the money went directly to him. So there was no money exchanged in that way.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And many times with him, he trusts me and, you know,
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not questioning that. I just wasn't clear on it, on how that was handled.
Yeah. It was really easy peasy.
Okay. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, definitely. I'd be happy to lead it again. It was a lot of fun.
Okay, that's great. And it was awfully nice to see John, your husband, taking part.
No, John, I could have done it without him.
It was wonderful. I mean, you had your truck, you had your husband, and you had all these plants. And within about 40 minutes, it was all set. So
Oh, no. To me, it was like 2 hours and, you know, actually 3 hours putting it all together. I got there a bunch earlier than you saw me. So it was a lot. And then I did a preliminary setup the day before just to make sure it all made sense. So there was actually many hours into it.
And at the same time, we had the Native Plant Garden Brigade working at the garden.
I would recommend not doing that again with them there at the same time. It was too noisy. Yeah, there was, I guess, someone doing weed whacking in the background, which made it very difficult to talk to someone.
Yeah,
So-
we do have a weed whacker. Mhm.
Yes, and it was necessary to have the weed whacker, but it was just very difficult to talk to people at the same time. So I would not recommend doing it the same day.
Okay, that's all right. We'll figure it out. Okay, any other questions about the plant sale? Next on the agenda is demo garden maintenance and condition. We had 13 volunteers for our September workday, the last Saturday of the month. 13 people were there. It's fabulous. We got so much done. The paths were cleared and mulched so that people can walk again. We haven't been able to edit the garden much because that's another whole level of work. And we missed 3 months of work on the garden this year because of COVID. But I think the garden looks great. I got an email from someone this week who said she took a walk and saw the garden and that it looks wonderful. So I think it's about as good as it's going to get for right now. I think it does need editing. We're going to have to think about moving some plants around. And of course, some of the trees are getting large, which means that some of the garden is being more shaded than it used to be. But that's the nature of gardening. It's always going to be changing. I do want everybody to remember that we won another Pennsylvania Horticultural Society Award. The garden won Garden of Distinction again. So in 2018, we were Garden of I Distinction, 2019 Blue Ribbon, 2020 Garden of Distinction. And I don't know if we're going to get a plaque though, because they did everything virtually. I have to make a note to myself to ask about the plaque.
Congratulations, Janine. That was fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, I hope they do a plaque because you've got a scheme for that with the bird blind. Yeah.
I know. I have the two. I'm waiting for the third. So I'm going to ask them. And if they don't give me a plaque, I'm going to ask why not. So we'll find out. So invasive plant workshop to be held on 10/24. Am I the leader of that, or do I have a co-leader on that?
Janine, I was your co-leader, and then I thought that we were going to cancel it because of COVID, and you didn't. So then we set the Birdtown Summit the same day. So I can no longer help because I'm the leader of that. So I'm sorry.
Okay, so I wonder if someone can help with that. Anybody from the group? I have, I mean, I can, with Chris Mason's help, I mean, I can teach people about burning bush and, you know, give everybody a handout, talk about it for a couple of minutes. And then as long as Chris is with me, and people bring their own tools, we can make a difference in 2 hours. And if no one else can help, I understand that everybody's.
I can maybe help. I just have to check my calendar.
Okay, Tanya,
I
let
don't
me
think I
know.
can.
Let me
Yeah.
know. It's the 24th, 9 to 11, the usual work time. And
Okay.
Chris is the one, because he's the parks superintendent, he's the one who can assist us if we have really big shrubs that might need some glyphosate painted on. Nothing
I already
sprayed.
had it on my calendar, so I think I'm good.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, so I'm gonna work with
Okay.
Tanya. Excellent.
Hmm.
Okay, well, thanks, Tanya. Okay, and remember that everyone's welcome to show up, bring your friends. Andrea, will you be there? Because last year you had fun, I think. Can't hear you.
I'm gonna plan on being there. That is my sister's birthday, but
Oh, okay.
I
I'm
think
sorry,
I
but
can
it's,
drag the boyfriend.
what is it, 9 to 11? What time is it? I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Yeah, 9 to 11 on the 24th. Yep.
Okay, but it's the same time as the Birdtown Summit though, right?
Yeah, that summit's from 10 to 12. I apologize for the overlap.
Okay.
It's my fault. Well,
Okay.
not completely my fault, but
Okay.
I wish I had realized that there was an overlap when we were making the date.
It's okay. Yeah, let's hope we get a couple residents who come, you know, and who want to learn more about burning bush as an invasive. Okay, let's move on to old, ongoing, and unfinished business. So the mini forest idea, Kara, it was so great to hear from you about how you are definitely interested in helping with that mini forest idea. And so Kara's here again tonight because we're hot on that. We'd like to have that happen. Did everybody download the open space map that I sent you? It looks like this.
Yeah, I saw it.
It's awfully hard to use. I have
Yeah,
no,
we need a bigger
I
version.
don't think I got one, Jean.
I sent it, I thought I did, but perhaps I didn't, Kara.
Okay.
It was after the minutes and the agenda came out. I sent it.
I just got that tonight. So if you sent it tonight, then I have it, but not
No,
the only thing I got the other day was the handbook and a little note from you about the handbook.
Okay, so I'm going to send this to Kara.
Okay.
This open space map is hard to use. It is in color, but it didn't print out for me in color, but the electronic map I sent you is in color. And if you look, you'll see that the first section says public park recreation open space areas.
Can we have this shared screen so that we all can see it on the screen? Is that possible? Andrea, can you share it on the screen?
The map?
Yeah.
Yeah, the map.
I have it on my screen. Can I share?
Yeah, you have it up?
I do.
Okay.
I'm not on my own computer. I have to use Steve's computer.
I
so.
think, is it allowing you to share?
It is not. Someone has to enable me to.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
All right. It should work now.
Okay. Okay, can you all see it?
There it is. Okay.
Oh, perfect.
So this is what we were asking for, an open space map. Andrea was able to send it. So here it is. Now, I studied this a while, and I'm not sure which areas on this open space map would be eligible for mini forest development. I'm not sure how to figure that out.
I think that would be really difficult. This is what, this is first of all, borough plus township. It's both on here. So you have to be careful to make sure you're in the township.
Right.
The other thing is, this was part of the PROS thing, the Parks, Rec, and Open Space that been working on since 2018 with Karen and a committee. And most of these parcels are like the one that I literally am next door to, which is a detention basin. Most of them are small, less than an acre, either entrances to a community or a detention basin or something like that. the bigger tracts are, you would know the bigger tracts pretty much. But they count every square foot of that as open space, even though, of course, the detention basin is mowed to within an inch of its life every week. So.
Anne?
Yeah.
Does that basin have to be mowed
Not at all, but you know, that basin is very confusing to me. You know, Mr. Sinclair, the code enforcement guy, we had an issue with a neighbor on that boundary, and they had it surveyed, and they put, of course, a post in where we didn't think that was correct. So I actually called the township, and that he claims that though the detention basin is owned by the two property owners next to me on Kurt's Road, the Spring Meadow, and there's simply access to it for the township to get into the detention basin and do maintenance or whatever. And I guess they consider the mowing part of the maintenance. Now, Sinclair's predecessor had told me, no, that's township property. So somebody's right, somebody's wrong. I'm going to bet on Sinclair being right, that it's actually owned by the two homeowners, and they simply allow access to it from by the township. The township's there quite a bit. It's surprising.
That's number 50 on this map.
Yes, it is number 50. You're right, Kurt.
You can see where that is, and it was clearly designed as part of the stormwater management.
Absolutely, it doesn't work, but it was designed for that.
It was designed for that. Let's.
It wasn't designed well, but that was the point.
It was designed for that, and it's partially grass and it's partially riprap.
Yes.
So you're gonna come across a number of those in various locations where they were designed for the flood control properties,
right?
Which that doesn't necessarily lend it to other uses.
So we thought that getting an open space map might help us think about, might help us think about where we could think about little mini forests, but I'm not so sure that this map is what we need.
Well, it seems like you'd probably have to either go and look at some of these places, or get some suggestions from Stephanie or for other people in the township, and who might be able to tell us if there are some that are perhaps suitable, or perhaps you've got a couple that are adjoining to make it slightly larger. But I think just by looking at the map, it's going to be very difficult to know, I think.
Yeah, this is really not that helpful. I think you're right, Jim. We need a person. Now, Kara has this lot next to her house,
right,
that Stephanie said needs to be surveyed.
Right.
And so that's another issue,
Well, if you're paying survey for each of these properties, that's going to be that's going to add up fast.
Yeah, I'm not sure, how to proceed. Let's see if we have an idea of how to proceed.
Maybe we can just go out and look at the property that Kara is talking about, and just sort of eyeball it, and then identify it on the map, and then come back and think
it's
about
actually
whether
it's not identified on this map.
Oh, no kidding.
It's probably off the bottom here, right? Actually, if you scroll down a little bit, you might.
No, it's not.
It's not there. Not there around.
No, it's not. It is not identified on this map.
Okay.
It would be off Edison Furlong Road.
Yes, it's definitely not. There's nothing I can see where it would be. It's a little black spot. I can't point it out to you. But it's not identified on here. It doesn't have a number and a pointer pointing to it.
Okay.
So,
it's not in green, right? It's in white.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm wondering if we control that or not.
You do. The township owns it. I've talked to them about it.
Yeah. And
I don't know what they call it. I don't think they call it an open space map in terms of it's not preserved like open space often is. Like the one that you see off of Pebble Hill, that one is definitely identified. When you go by that section, it tells you that, like if you look at number 43, off of Pebble Hill, there's a sign there that says that it's an open space. And the same thing on 44. There are signs there that say open space. What is next to me is not identified as an open space.
So if you recall, Stephanie told us that the lots, the little tiny lots in Kara's neighborhood off Edison Furlong Road were movie theater lots. They were sold in movie theaters and they're tiny. Now, where are they? What?
They're mostly on Bedford, off of Bedford.
And that's not here either.
No,
Right?
it's not there
No.
either. I can see them on the map as I saw them when I looked at this house and asked what they were, but they're not identified on here either. So I'm just wondering if they're under some other kind of classification
I think that
other
may be the
than
case.
open space.
Yeah, because this isn't the map that's going to help us address this question. I think we can draw that conclusion. So what's next then? We need somebody to help us identify these little lots.
Janine, I wonder if, I'm blanking on his name. It's the gentleman who gave me your name and he's in my phone, but I have to take my phone out of its holder to look him up.
I think it's Supervisor Paul Gar.
No, it wasn't Paul.
It wasn't Paul.
No, he works for the township, whoever it is.
Yeah, Paul works for the township.
Oh, does he? Okay.
Yeah.
That's possible. He's the one who came out and told me they took some trees out on that property because I asked them to. They were dead ash trees and they were leaning onto my property considering if they wanted to fall over. So he had them removed and they're coming back to take out 2 more actually that are also dead. But he may have some idea. He seemed to have some understanding about it, but he's not who I spoke to when I bought the property. I talked to somebody else in the township because I wanted to know what the status of that piece of property was before I bought the house.
So, okay, I wonder if Sinclair.
I think Sinclair might be the next step, yeah.
Yeah, maybe Sinclair is the next person because he's the code enforcement officer. He knows the township intimately.
Okay.
All right. Oh boy, we've talked about this now for two meetings, and it's an idea. It's a vision that we create mini forests to help create more canopy and better habitat throughout the township on little tiny lots that are owned by the township but are neglected badly. Kara says there's trash accumulating on that lot next to her. I wouldn't be surprised if there's trash and lots of invasives on other little tiny pieces of property in our township that could be cleaned up and made into kind of a green corridor or a mini forest that would create more habitat in the township and create some beauty as well. Somebody needs to ride this horse.
Janine, if I may, let me ask a question.
Yeah.
I don't know whether in this township, the tax assessor's records have been made electronically available. That's another potential avenue. In other places, I've been able to search the tax assessor's records for a particular owner. In this case, it would be the township.
Yeah.
And if you could display all of the properties owned by the township via the tax assessor, then you would have a leg up on figuring out, okay, where are all the places that are owned by the township that might be suitable?
Might be identifiable.
Yeah, okay. So the tax collector would the tax collector be the person who might have that information?
Potentially. Some cities and the like have put all those records online. I don't know whether Doylestown Township has done that. I suspect that they have not.
Yeah.
In which case it might be more laborious to try
Yeah.
and find them.
Well, that's Sam Kolodny for us.
Yeah, Sam
Is the-
Kolodny's our
Right,
chief
is the
collector.
tax collector for that township. I guess it'd be,
I'm guessing that Paul, if that's who gave me your name, Janine, I'm guessing that he would know because he's the one who has a lot of the tree work done on the township property. He's the one who came around to bring all the tree guys to do the assessment of how much it would be for each place that they needed to go, that the township needed to do tree work on. So I wonder if he might also be a source, at least to give some direction on where to go.
Mhm. Well, my suggestion would be if you guys are trying to get Paul involved, you would have to go through Dave first because he's
Right.
the director of operations and he
Right.
oversees the roads duties. So just make sure, even though Paul is very friendly and he does speak directly to a lot of residents, we want to make sure that we follow the protocol when it comes to communicating with staff.
absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, now, Kara has expressed a willingness to be our point person, but Stephanie is very clear that someone who is not a member of the EAC cannot chair a subcommittee. So Kara, although she is, and we've had this conversation, she is willing, she is not able at this point. So is there anybody, I'm just gonna ask, is there anybody who would be a point person on this potential project by asking questions about what properties the township owns, trying to find out whether the information would come from Dave Tomko, Paul Gar, Sam Kolodny, just to kind of begin? Or should we just table this vision for now since we don't have a leader?
I'm willing to do it, Janine.
You want to take it, Heidi?
Yes, I've just been taking the tree tenders class and the woodland stewardship class, so I would be well prepared for this role. So I'd be happy to work with Kara.
And I'm a tree tender as well. And you recommended that woodland stewardship course from Penn State Extension. I just finished it Sunday.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, that was a great course. I really enjoyed it. So, between the two of us, we have a lot of tree stuff up here.
Right.
All right, Heidi, I'm going to ask you then to be the chairperson, and Heidi and Kara should talk.
Definitely.
All right, and let's see what we can find
Mm-hmm.
out about what parcels of land in our township we could do this project on.
Janine, could you send an email to Heidi and I with our email information? Because I don't have any contact information for Heidi, and I don't believe she has any for me.
Okay, got it. I'll do that right away.
Kara, I'll be in touch with you the next couple days.
Okay.
Hey, I'm sorry, say again?
I'll be in touch with you the next couple days then.
Great, that's fine, good.
Okay, wonderful. I dared to put a little thing in here from Doug Tallamy's new book, Nature's Best Hope. I tell you what, I'm only about 100 pages in, but I'm not so hopeful. Nature's best hope is that we do plant trees and that we plant native plants. And so that's the bottom line. Let's see what we can make happen here.
Definitely.
Okay, so one last item that I have, and that's Don Richardson's memorial tree and bench. The tree's going to be planted on this Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And
good.
at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Oh,
And it's Jeff Schumacher Associates will be assisting with the planting along with our staff, our township staff. The tree is a yellowwood tree. It's a beautiful species. It's going to be planted near the outdoor classroom. There is a nice open space spot there where the yellow tree will grow into its maturity and shade the outdoor classroom and fill in a large area there.
Nice.
We're hoping that Don Richardson's partner Bert DeVries will follow through on a bench, but it's stalled right now. I think she's a little fragile, and I think I email her at least once a month. We were working on possible wording for a plaque on the bench. We can't order the bench until the plaque wording is set and we get a check from her. Neither of those things has happened in the past month, so we're stalled. But the tree's going in this Friday at 8 o'clock.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I think that's fine, and the bench can always be added in the future if she, you know, gets all her thoughts together on that.
Yes, yes, and I just tell her that, you know, and I encourage her to think about the ideas we've kicked around for the plaque. But I think it's painful for her.
Yeah.
Understandably. So, is there anything else? Is there something I neglected to put on the agenda that should have been here? Is anybody else have something that needs to be said? Matt, was this something that you thought it would be like to see a public meeting of this sort?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was really good. You know, one of the things I'm going to focus on in my report is how everyone like participated in this meeting. I was really impressed by that. You know, as like the facilitator, you know, you gave, you know, everyone opportunities to speak in, give their input. And I thought that was like, you know, really well executed. But yeah, I mean, overall, it was kind of what I expected, and I thought it was run really, really well. So kudos to everyone here.
Good, thanks. You do have a copy of the agenda. I think I sent that to you. And you have a copy of the handbook page about what an EAC is. I sent that to you, to Mel, and to Kara, so that you'd wrap your head around that. So
Correct,
I
yep.
helped you in your class.
Thank
Good
you.
luck as you continue at UNH.
Yes, go Wildcats.
Mel, thank you again for being here tonight, and we'll hear from you again in November.
Yeah, could I ask a couple questions before that? So I just want to make sure that I don't waste people's time. I have a lot of questions, just wondering if, you know, this committee is even something, you know, that is interested in joining a movement of non-toxic communities. And so, I mean, if it seems like it's not appropriate, it's probably best to say so now, so that I don't get, you know, so I don't waste people's time.
Well, let me tell you that we have talked about insecticides and herbicides, and we had a preliminary meeting with our parks director about it, but we were talking about public land, not private land. And
Right.
I'm not certain about what a municipal council like ours can do about private land, or would someone else like to speak to that question?
Well, I don't, to be honest, Mel, I don't know anything really about what you're even proposing. So I would be very interested to hear more about what you have to say. I mean, I don't think I can even make a decision about whether or not it's going to be appropriate for this committee until I know more about it. So if you're willing to educate us, I would be more than happy to do that.
Okay, that sounds good.
So can we keep you on the November agenda?
Sure.
Can you take maybe 8 or 10 minutes?
I'll do my best.
Okay. Yeah, 10 or 12.
Yeah, I'm a stream of consciousness talker, so we'll see where that goes.
Okay, it's 8:20, and I like to try, you know, if we can finish these meetings in an hour and a half. I mean, we've had 2-hour meetings and they're excruciate.
Oh gosh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So we're, you know, we try not to.
I can just tell you what I know, and ask questions, because I'm not really clear on what it is that you guys do. So, yeah.
Okay, well, we'll hear from you in November.
Perfect.
Okay, wonderful.
Very good.
All right, and Kara, looks like, you know, we have a little opening here for a project that may indeed happen someday. We'll get it started.
If you could include Heidi's and my phone number in that email too, that's sometimes easier for me just to have a quick conversation than an email volley.
Okay.
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 And also, I need to make sure that I get the link, excuse me, for the meeting next time.
Would you just shoot me an email and I'll make sure you get it.
Okay, is that Janine?
Yeah, that's me. Yes, Janine.
Okay, beautiful.
Okay. All right, good. I think we had a great meeting, as we always do. We have a lot going on. Thank you, everybody. It's now 8:21. Good job. Less than an hour and a half. All right, motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
I second the motion to adjourn.
Okie dokie, let's vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Adios, everybody.
Adios.
Bye, thank you.
Bye.
Andrea, when would you like me
Bye,
to come
Andrea.
by to pick up?
Bye. Tomorrow or the next day. Whatever you want to do.
Okay, tomorrow afternoon would be fine. Want me to do that?
Okay, sure. You want to shoot for tomorrow around 12?
I'm gonna put it on my calendar.
Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Everybody.
All right. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night, Janine.
Good night, Andrea. Mwah.
I'll see you. I'll be around, okay? Because I'm still a
Okay.
township resident.
I
so-
know that. So yes, I expect to see you.
Okay.
Thanks for
All
everything.
right.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.